Hi, everybody. I'm Crazy Dr. Kathy, and I teach online on OutSchool. Today, I'm going to be sharing a class with you that's called Crazy Bindy's Fun Making Seasonal Ornaments. Crazy Bindy is my sister. She's been doing crafting for over 20 years, but she's super shy. So I teach the class. She teaches me the craft. And I'm here today to share that with you. Today, we're going to make the angel doll ornament. We saw various ones done on YouTube, but they were really all too hard for kids. So Crazy Bindy was working on trying some different options, and she finally came up with this one that actually is easy enough that kids can do, and yet it still looks just as pretty. So bear with me. I'm going to share with you my PowerPoint and some videos, and we're going to let you learn how to do this for your class or your children too. Let me share my screen. And we'll put it in slideshow so you can see it bigger. All right, this is one of 4 classes that Crazy Bindy and myself have done on OutSchool. This one is the angel doll ornament, the last of 4. In class, we usually have students share their name and tell us something about themselves. We like to mix it up on OutSchool and get kids talking and interacting. And they know me as Crazy Dr. Kathy. But these classes are called Crazy Bindy. Today, we're going to make this angel doll ornament. Isn't it beautiful? And it's not that hard to do. It took us less than 45 minutes once we figured out how to do it in a more simpler way. The supplies you're going to need. You're going to need 2 different colors, one for the dress, one for the hair. We used cotton rope. In this case, we have 4 millimeter. You need 60 inches for the dress and 49 inches for the hair. You're going to need 1 wooden ball for the head with a hole. And the ball that we used was 20 millimeters and the hole was 5 millimeters. You'll need some scissors. It's best if you have 2 glittery fuzzy sticks, but you could just use 2 colored pipe cleaners. These are going to be used for the hanger and for the belt. Gold looks really good like it does on the one that we made. You'll also need a little glue, a sturdy comb, and a ruler. So is everyone ready to get going? All right, let's get started. Here's a picture of the supplies that we used. We even used a dog comb because it was very sturdy, but you may have a metal comb or something that'll hold it together. And we used a measuring tape instead of a ruler, but I'm sure that most of the kids are going to be using rulers. So in your preparations, here's what you need to do to get ready. Remember, you can pause this tape at any times to complete each thing so you don't have to hurry. So cut these yarn lengths. For the dress, you're going to need 6 pieces, 10 inches long. For the hair, you're going to need 7 pieces, 7 inches long. And for the arm, you only need 1 piece. We use the same color for the hair and the arm, and that piece is only 8 inches. The hanger and the belt will be made with the glittery fuzzy sticks or pipe cleaners. You don't need to cut those right now. So go ahead and cut your pieces, pause the tape, and come back when you are ready. First, we're going to make the arms. The arms are made from 1 piece of the string. So you're going to take that 8-inch piece of yarn and you're going to tie a knot on each end, and then you're going to trim off the extra. Let me show you a video of what that looks like. And I'm going to need to switch screens on you, kind of like what we do in class with the kids. And we're going to play this one. So she just ties one little end by wrapping it around and pulling it through. You do it as close to the end as you can. Make sure you do both ends. And then all you're going to do is take a pair of scissors and trim off below the knots. You don't need those extra pieces. Pretty easy, actually. All righty, so let's go back to our PowerPoint. So you've got your arms, just set those aside. You'll use them later. Now, as we put the doll together, I want you to think upside down. I know that looks funny, it sounds funny, but we're going to start with the hanger and we're going to work our way up. So once you start with the hanger, you're going to turn it upside down and be working and adding from the bottom up. And that's why it might look funny in the pictures. So just think upside down. So step one is you're going to make the hanger. You're going to make a loop on your fuzzy stick and twist it a few times. Let me show you the video that goes with this. I wonder how I get out of that. Well, let's try something different. Let's see if I can get it to come up. No, I've done that before. I don't think it works. Let's see, making the hanger. There we are. I've embedded the videos inside the YouTube. I hope it shows. If it doesn't, I'll have to come back through and show you a different way. But the hanger is just one pipe cleaner that you make a loop and you twist it 2 or 3 times so it stays in place. And then as we start to add pieces to that, you'll be holding on to the loop part. All right, we went far enough, it looks like. And we need to go back on that. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. So we've made a hanger. And now we're going to turn that hanger upside down. We're going to hold on to the loop part of it. And that's how we're going to come back to it. But for now, first we're going to unravel the yarn for the doll's hair. So you're going to take each piece that you have cut 7 inches long for the doll's hair, you're going to unravel it, and each piece should give you 3 little pieces. So go ahead and unravel those and then line them up so they're even. Let me stop sharing here and show you the video on that in case you don't understand. Let's see, somehow there must be a way to go backwards on this, and my thing is making it hard here for me to see. Okay, so now we can go back. All right, so to unravel the yarn, you're going to have to twist it backwards till you see these little pieces that are loose, and grab each piece and lay it out on the table in a nice straight fashion. Line them up next to each other so that you'll be able to put them together. And you're just going to do that for every single one of those 7 pieces that are made for her hair. It might take you a few minutes, but don't worry about that. You can always pause the video and then come back on when you're ready. So let's go ahead and find our way back to the PowerPoint. So as soon as you've unraveled the doll's hair, then what you're going to do is you're going to hold it in a group over the open pieces of that fuzzy stick that you had. You're holding the loop in your hand and you have 2 ends and you're stringing the hair across the middle of it. Once you've got both of those ends pulled together, you're going to put the little wooden ball through the hole, slide it down, and in the third picture here you see that you're going to separate the fuzzy sticks to keep it tight. And this one might be a little hard to understand, so I am definitely going to take you back and let you see the video for that one. Here we are. Sometimes I get lost on here, honestly. There should be a way to pause that. Or to get out of that one at least. There it is. There we are. Okay, sorry about that. So let's take it back and find the part about adding the hair. I'm going to have to come down a little ways. Here we are. So wait until you see this. If it didn't make sense to you, once you see it, it'll be very obvious, but it can be tricky when you're only seeing a few pictures. All right, so group the loosened hair. And there at the end, she just pulls it tight and pulls those apart. Okay, let's take that back. So we'll be ready for the next one the next time. All right, so you've added the hair and you've added the head, and now you just have, as I said, you're working your way upside down on this. So once again, you lay the hair over the two ends, put the fuzzy stick pieces together to kind of like tighten the hair on, put the ball of the head through, and then pull it tight and keep the fuzzy stick ends opposite of each other. Next step is just to unravel the yarn for the dress. Now, since I've already showed you how to do the hair, I don't think you need to see it again, but I think you know it's going to take you a little while. So pause the video and take some time to unravel all 6 of those pieces of dress yarn. So pull them apart. There should be 3 strands in each one. Lay them together in a row with the links the same length, so you'll be ready to move on. When you are, just start playing the video again. Now, to add the dress, you're going to hold the loop or the hanger in your hand, just like you did before. You're working upside down, and you're going to lay the dress pieces halfway across, and you're also going to lay the arm halfway across. You try to get it in the middle as much as you can. Then you're going to take those 2 ends of the fuzzy stick, pull them up, tighten them up, and twist it a couple times so that you're to the point where you've added everything and you still have these 2 fuzzy sticks sticking out here. When you get to that point, you can cut those off, but let's watch the video that goes along with that. And we'll take this back so we can see the list where we added the dress and the arms. Here we are. This part can look a little bit tricky, so make sure you watch it closely a few times. She's taking the dress, so you can see you have to twist it pretty tight. So now you can turn it upside down. I suppose you could keep the pipe cleaners there. All right, thank you. The funny thing is she cut off the extra pipe cleaner, but I suppose you could keep it there if you wanted some legs. You have golden legs. But at that point, you can turn it upside down. So let's go back to our PowerPoint here. Make sure we're staying on track. Okay, so what she did, She was holding it upside down, and there's the two ends of the pipe cleaner spread out. She laid the dress yarn and the arms halfway across, and then she just pulled the two ends of the pipe cleaner up and twisted it real tight so that it stays in place. And then she cut off the extra. She didn't show that in that video, but we cut the extra off. You could leave it there and they could be legs if you want legs. All right, so the next part is we're going to add the belt. And in this one, let me show you what that looks like before we go to the video. You're going to make a loop with the end of the second pipe cleaner. Notice how we're using the back of the doll, and she just makes like a U, and she's holding that in place. And then she starts wrapping. So you're holding that loop down as you're wrapping the rest of the pipe cleaner around to make a belt. And when you run out, then you're going to take the end of that pipe cleaner, like down in picture 3, and you're going to stick it through the loop, and then you're going to pull on both ends, and it's going to make a knot. So let's back up here one slide so I can show you that on video. And I see I need to go back to my YouTube. It's kind of tricky going back and forth. If I was doing this live, it would be easier in one way, but then you wouldn't be able to see in a class if I needed to rewind it. So let's go back there to YouTube and go back to the previous screen. Add the dress and the arms. Here we are. And we will play that one again. Okay, I already showed you that one. I guess I chose the wrong one. Silly me. I guess I have to laugh at myself. I'm trying to add a belt. There it is. Okay. And you'll have to put up with me moving around back and forth. This is all new to me. We put the arms up in the air. Okay. Let's pause that. There we go. All right, so you have added your belt, and you might need to watch that more than once. It is probably the trickiest part of the whole craft, is to make that loop. Make your loop, hold it in place, wrap it 3 times, stick the end through the hoop, and then come back and hold on to that first piece and the last piece and pull it through. Now the next step is pretty easy, but you're going to want to have a stiff brush, and you're going to have to hold your doll down really firmly on a table and just comb the hair of the dress, starting with the ends and working your way up. This will loosen things up and give it a more full look. And then when you're finished with that, you can trim off any pieces that didn't really end up in the same length, like you can see in her second picture here. Now, I don't think there was really any trick to this except that the brush needed to be firm, or a comb to keep it that way. You can also do this with the doll's hair, but we thought it looked better having more of a braided look. And if you're watching this, you can also go back and watch the video on this, but it's really pretty evident what you're doing. So I don't think you need to see it right now. And then the last step is going to be to glue the hair onto the ball or the head. Now let's stop for a minute and think about it. I know there's going to be a lot of kids that are going to say, I want to put a face on my ball. Well, what if you do all of this work and the student has done all of this work and done really well, and then they come back at the end and try to put a face on their doll, and you know how hard that is. Sometimes they could get marker all over the face. They could just totally blotch it up. So I recommend that you tell the students in advance, if you're going to put a doll face on your doll, that you do it on the ball before you ever get started. That way, if they mess it up, they can just start with a new ball and try a couple times until they get the eyes and the nose and the mouth the way they like it. And they may go through 4 or 5 balls to get to that point. But my point is that you don't want them ruining their doll after the fact. So you might want to make that clear in the very beginning. No face unless you're putting it on now before you get started. All right, the glue is pretty easy. You can use Elmer's glue. You could use a hot glue gun. You turn the doll over, and on the back of her head, you put some glue on and push the little hairs into place so that they don't move around and look stupid. You don't want the bald head sticking out in the back. And then you can do it to the sides of the face. And you can see in the second picture, she's done a little bit on the side just to hold those pieces in. You have to move the hair into the glue. And it's not a big deal, but we'll watch that video just because we can. So let's go back here to YouTube and see if we can share that video with you. Gluing the hair to the head. So all of these links are on YouTube, and if you've seen this, you can go to the PowerPoint and you can look these up for the links as well. Right now, it's trying to run pretty slow. My Wi-Fi doesn't like to work right in the afternoon because I live out in the sticks. So we're just lucky it's actually functioning. You can hear my sister talking in the background. She doesn't even like her voice to be recorded or shown, which is kind of funny. Right now, it's locking up on me. Darn. Here we go. Well, it's pausing up, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop that. You get the idea. It's real easy to do, and it'll help the doll to look better in the long run. Now, what's funny about these dolls, they just look so soft, you just want to play with them, and that's probably what a lot of kids will do if you have some of these hanging on your tree. But if you make quite a few, then it won't matter if the little kids get a hold of a couple of them. You know how that is. Let me see. Let's see if we finished our PowerPoint yet. Okay, we've got the glue on, and voila, you have a beautiful little angel doll. She's about 6 or 7 inches from hair to end of dress, probably more like about maybe 9 or 10 inches from the top of the hanger down. And like I said, this is a great project for kids that like to do arts and crafts that will end up looking beautiful. And it's really pretty simple and easy put together. So thank you for joining me today. Like I said, I'm Dr. Kathy. I teach online at OutSchool. Most of my classes are crazy Dr. Kathy's Greek and Latin terms that you use in medicine, because I'm crazy about medical terminology. But Crazy Bindi is my sister, who teaches me the crafts, and we do these together and videotape these together. And you can even hear her laughing in the videos sometimes, but she is so shy, she would just die if she knew that her voice was on here. So I hope to see you again sometime, and maybe we'll run into each other once again. You can always look for me on OutSchool. Just look for Crazy Dr. Kathy or Crazy Bindi, and you can find more classes like these. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate all the time you guys are putting in out there, teachers. So hang in there. You'll get through it. I'm retired and I'm loving it at home. So your day will come. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.